Representative Jeremy Faison joins us on the show to discuss a piece of legislation he introduced some weeks ago that would give certain rights to those choosing to detransition in the state of Tennessee. And Representative Faison joins us on the Murphy Show hotline right now. Jeremy, good afternoon. Welcome.
What's up, Dr. Murphy? Good to be with you.
Man, it's good to have you. I hope everything's going well in the General Assembly. Everything okay over there?
Holy smokes. Matt, did you just ask me, is everything okay? This place is, listen, we're representative of 7 million Tennesseans. If all the 7 million Tennesseans were happy, then we'd be happy. But, we're having a big time. You should show up. This place belongs to y'all. Tell your listeners to come see us.
Hey, look, and contrary to what the Democrats want you to believe, you can actually go day of and get right over into the gallery. One side of the gallery is open to all, first come, first serve. The other side's a ticketed event, which, by the way, is going quite well, I understand. A lot of constituents are scheduling, getting over there, and they have little tickets, so they make sure that, moms and dads can bring their kids to the proceedings. Congratulations on restructuring that. That's worked out well, huh?
It is working out well. There's always major consternation and whatever when you change and try to make something better. But it's working well, Matt, and I'm not here near the complaints now that we were.
I want to talk about this detransition or Bill of Rights, but
let's do it.
And I don't want to give too much audience to this, but I do have to ask you the question real quick. Y'all haven't been called neo-Nazis yet today, have you?
Monday night we were, by God. By somebody, what's funny to me is the left who screams fascist or Nazism. I want them to look at their core convictions of who they are and the mentality of collectivism that just oozes out of their beliefs. It's rooted in Nazism. The whole notion of collectivism is fascist. I'm amazed that the very people screaming fascist are the ones at the core of who they are extremely fascist.
Well, and the reason I hesitate to bring it up because all the guy seems to want, he's like a seventh grader. He just wants attention, and it feels like he's not getting enough attention. So he's kind of ratcheting up the hissy fit that he's pitching in the backseat of the car as we're trying to have a vacation here. But we're not going to give much attention to it, except to say at some point those in leadership will have to shut it down if he keeps this nonsense going, right?
My gut is, and this is, I probably should say this, but I'll say it anyway. My gut is that he will continue to ramp it up. I think his dream, his desire is to be physically removed by troopers.
I agree.
From the House
100%.
floor. I think you're going to see a continual exacerbation of his antics. I think you're going to see him ramp it up even more and more and more as we get through this session, because he can make a lot more money away from here than he can here. Nationally, he's a superstar, and he appreciates that, and he knows what sells to the woke left. And it's brilliant. It's a great business plan. And that's my gut. He's not interested in being a statesman.
Jeremy, I couldn't have said it better. You're exactly right. If you don't care anything about your constituents, if you don't care anything about the city that you claim to serve, if you don't care anything about the state that you claim to serve, if you only care about yourself and you don't have any real ethics to stand on, and then he's doing a great job at what he's trying to accomplish. And I agree with you. I think he would love nothing more than to be expelled again. I think that's his ultimate goal, either physically or through a vote of the body.
Right. Agreed.
Let's talk about House Bill 2816. I believe this is. Talk to me about it. What is this?
It is. And Matt, let me get somewhat emotional, if I can, to start out with the setup for your listeners. We live in this society that is very pervasively and energetically pushing young children to deny their biological makeup. It is a fad, and kids have jumped onto it. And I think at times they feel peer pressured into something. As soon as they decide that they are something other than their biological makeup, they get this massive network of friends and, well, faux friends, if you will, and people that will rally behind them and support them and tell them everything that they want to hear that's not necessarily true. And give them meaning and community and family and love. But what we've seen, and I've sat down and talked to kids who've started to transition and then realized, wait a minute, I made a mistake. As soon as a child thinks, woo, what if I acted harshly? What if I did this by peer pressure? What if I made a mistake? they lose that network. They lose their friends. And unfortunately, and I'll chastise the Republicans on this, Republicans get real squeamish around a person who is struggling with their identity, and they're like, just get over yourself. Matt, that's really wrong of us. There are people who truly are trying to find meaning, and Republicans have historically not met this challenge very well. This is what because, I know.
And well, I don't mean to interrupt your train of thought, but I would agree with you completely and it's because there's been such a push to glamorize all of this and to suggest that, it's not enough just to be, the boy that you were born to be, that they're overwhelming legitimate cases of gender dysphoria, which you and I both know. Those are, there's many fewer of those than what some would suggest, but they exist. And to deny the existence of truly gender dysphoric people is just deny reality. And I would agree with you there.
Right. And so that being said, realizing that a person who's already struggling, when they made these decisions, they get this network, when they try to realize, maybe I shouldn't do this or I need to stop what I've done, they lose an entire network, and then they're shunned by that outfit, the left, and then the right doesn't know what to do with them, the Republicans do. At the end of the day, if what my bill does is if you are any part of the state insurance plans, whether you're on TennCare or whether you're a teacher or a lawyer and your child, whatever, if you're part of what Tennessee is our health care plans, if you're part of any of that, we're saying if our insurance is paid for you to transition, then that same insurance has to backfill that and say, if the kid realizes they made a mistake and want to go back, they need access to counseling. They need access to surgical. They need to be able to get out of that if they need to. If you can pay for it up front, you can pay for it on the back end too. And so that's what we're doing. And I think once we get this passed, you're going to find out a lot of children, they are going to be like, thank God there's some help for me. I made a mistake. I want out. And evidenced by this, interestingly enough, is European countries are starting to completely outlaw it. They realize, like what we did in Tennessee, they were ahead of us because they realized they embraced it 10, 15 years ago, and now they realize that they're destroying a group of people. It's devastating to embrace a lie.
Well, the immediate question, Jeremy, is wouldn't we want to give wouldn't we want the insurance companies themselves to have the option? And when it comes to state-run insurance or health care, I would love to get to a place where we're not covering transitioning at all, but that's not where we are. In other words, you recognize that we are where we are, so we need to give some mental and medical assistance to those people who recognize that they have been led down a road where they made a tragic mistake.
Absolutely. I would encourage any of your listeners who are interested in more of this, Google a little girl named Chloe. I've become friends with Chloe.
Chloe Cole?
Several times.
Chloe Cole?
Yeah,
I know.
Watch her story. Just and then also look at how the left. There is no bottom to what they want to send to with the bullying and the hatred and the bigotry they give my little friend Chloe. At one point, they love her when she wants to become a boy, and then when she realizes she made a mistake and she's actually a girl. Look at the comments that when you go to her social media. You feel like you need a mind bath after you read the stuff they tell this little girl. And so I'm looking at it saying we need to be behind them. If they want to get out of that lifestyle, if you will, and get help and reverse what has happened, man, the state needs to be all over that and say, yes, we are here. We are here to hold your hand. We will be your friend, whatever it takes to help you make the right decision for yourself.
I encourage people to look more into it. 2816 is the number for the bill. You can look it up online. Jeremy Faison is the bill's sponsor. I am sadly out of time right now, Jeremy, but come over and see me.
To you.
I'm right down the road, Jeremy. Come over and see me. There's Jeremy Faison, who joins us to talk about his bill. It's an interesting concept. Now, if in a perfect world, I would suggest that the state should not be paying for any of this. However, the state is currently paying for transitioning. I think the state, if we're going to be on the hook for that, you need to be on the hook for it all, and you need to be ready to help detransition these people that have been talked into a bad deal, and many of them believe that.